Have you ever pondered why, after many years of marriage, a wife may begin to feel a sense of distance from her husband? What occurs when the connection that once seemed indestructible begins to wane? If you've sensed that the flame in your relationship has flickered, or if you're finding it difficult to grasp why your partner seems emotionally distant, this video is tailored for you. Today, we're exploring the underlying factors that lead many women to reassess their feelings toward their marriages as they age, along with proactive steps you can take to address these changes before it's too late. Relationships naturally evolve, yet what triggers the transition from intimacy to emotional detachment? Is it merely a facet of aging, or are there more profound, frequently neglected elements involved? We will delve into the 8 key factors that may be contributing to the disconnect, and examine how these unresolved issues can subtly diminish the love and affection that once thrived. By the end of this video, you'll gain a deeper insight into the emotional effort, communication gaps, and evolving expectations that significantly impact numerous long-term marriages. You'll also discover practical steps you can take to reignite your relationship, rebuild the emotional connection, and choose love, no matter your age. If you are a partner, a spouse, or someone invested in the future of your connections, continue reading. This video will transform your perspective on love, aging, and marriage for all time. Believe me, there's always an opportunity to create a significant transformation. Keep watching to learn how. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your encouragement is truly appreciated, and if this video resonated with you, consider helping me share these important insights by liking and sharing it. If this video resonates with you, feel free to drop a comment with a 1. If you don't, kindly leave a comment with a 0, so I can understand how to enhance and create better videos for you. Let us commence. First and foremost, the weight of emotional labor grows increasingly burdensome. For years, countless women have quietly been anticipated to take on the role of the emotional nurturer within their marriages. They possess the remarkable ability to recall every significant date, from birthdays and anniversaries to family milestones. Even the tiniest details that frequently escape the attention of others. They are the individuals who diligently organize family gatherings, making certain that everyone is embraced, appreciated, and enjoys themselves. Women take charge of scheduling doctor appointments, managing household chores, and ensuring that every detail is meticulously handled, all while maintaining emotional harmony within their homes. The emotional labor carried by individuals often goes unnoticed by those around them, particularly their partners, who may remain unaware of the weight they are imposing on their significant others. As time goes by, women start to sense the weight of this burdensome load. They begin to notice the emotional exhaustion, the toll it's taken on their spirit and well-being. It's no longer solely about the tangible duties. The emotional intensity, the ongoing sensitivity to the needs of those around us, the silent expectations that appear to grow with each passing day. And here lies the unvarnished reality. Many individuals remain oblivious to the unfolding events, or even more troubling, they fail to appreciate them. The emotional effort weaves itself into the fabric of each interaction, creating a persistent backdrop. Women often sense that they bear the full burden of the marriage on their shoulders. They inhabit a realm where their needs and emotions frequently go unnoticed, where it seems the very fabric of the relationship is sustained solely by their endeavors, while their husbands merely occupy the space. Frustration mounts, and a sense of resentment subtly emerges, as women ponder, why is this burden mine to bear? Their battle is a silent, draining one, rendering them emotionally spent, as though their hearts and minds are operating on fumes. It's truly devastating, as no one ought to carry the burden of love and responsibility by themselves. It's not about assigning fault. It revolves around acknowledgement and equilibrium. Women deserve companions who recognize their efforts, participate in them, ease the burden, and share the emotional journey side by side. However, the emotional effort frequently remains unacknowledged, resulting in women experiencing feelings of isolation and invisibility in the very relationship to which they have dedicated so much. It's a quiet plea for assistance, for compassion, for recognition, and affection. second on the list. A deficiency in significant dialogue. At the outset, every dialogue holds a certain enchantment. The initial moments brim with exhilaration, awe, and authentic inquisitiveness. You're curious about how my day went. What thoughts are occupying your mind at this moment? What are the grand aspirations you hold within your soul? There exists a palpable enthusiasm, a genuine curiosity about one another's experiences. The phrases shared go beyond mere language. They serve as pathways to comprehension, to unity, and to enriching your relationship. Yet, at some point in the journey, a transformation occurs. The days blend into a familiar pattern, and as a result, the dialogue dims in its vibrancy. The vibrant conversations have devolved into a cycle of repetitive inquiries and uniform responses. It turns into a routine, lacking in depth and devoid of vulnerability. Even more troubling, at times, there exists only silence in place of the warmth that once filled the air. For a woman, emotional intimacy is an essential part of her experience. It's an essential aspect of experiencing love, worth, and recognition. She doesn't just want to share a bed or go through the motions of daily life with you. She yearns for the profound bond that arises from genuine understanding and mutual recognition. She desires to be acknowledged, to understand that her thoughts and emotions hold significance for you. In the absence of those profound, intimate discussions, she begins to sense her own invisibility, as though she has become just another item on an endless checklist. The lack of significant dialogue makes her feel as though her needs are overlooked, as if her inner world holds no value. She senses a lack of appreciation, as if the emotional connection that once brought everything to life is gradually fading. And that, dear companions, is a harsh truth to confront. A muted plea for recognition, empathy, and affection that frequently remains unnoticed. When emotional closeness diminishes, it's not merely the bond that endures hardship, it's the very essence of the woman that feels the impact. She begins to sense a profound loneliness, not due to your physical absence, but because the emotional distance between you is growing. Believe me, once that emotional bond starts to fade, mending it requires far more than merely waiting for time to pass. It requires effort, honesty, and a commitment to remember what it feels like to truly see each other. 3. The burden of housework never ends. The overwhelming burden of housework is something that many women in long-term marriages can relate to, and it's a complaint that often echoes louder as the years pass. It's genuinely disheartening to see how this obligation, once viewed as a collective task, continues to rest unevenly on the shoulders of women, even in our modern society. Research indicates that, despite significant advancements, women continue to shoulder the majority of household responsibilities, even in retirement, when they might be expected to enjoy the liberating aspects of their later years. What a blatant injustice that is. If you're still engaged with this video and appreciate these lessons, I'd love for you to drop a comment below to let me know you're still with me. As women enter their later years, they often find themselves feeling utterly drained, in every sense of the word. What initially appeared as trivial chores, dirty dishes lingering in the sink, laundry accumulating, or a disordered living room, gradually transform into an overwhelming burden that feels nearly insurmountable. These minor irritations, initially appearing trivial, gradually transform into a relentless avalanche, overwhelming them with frustration. Over time, the resentment builds like a storm on the horizon, and the woman finds herself asking, "Why do I have to do all of this? Why am I the one who keeps cleaning up after everyone? Is there really no one else who feels the weight of this exhaustion?" It pains me to consider how many women experience this, trapped in a never-ending cycle, questioning whether anyone genuinely recognizes the depth of their sacrifices. The focus extends beyond the mere tasks, it encompasses the profound emotional impact they impose. The relentless cycle of daily responsibilities gradually erodes their happiness and vitality, and the prospect of facing another day of tidying up, devoid of acknowledgement or assistance, can be profoundly daunting. Life holds endless possibilities, and women are entitled to so much more, yet for many, this is the daily struggle they endure. And it's heartbreaking. 4. She evolves beyond the confines of the relationship, while he remains stagnant. As women mature and navigate the natural course of life, they frequently find themselves yearning for personal development, embarking on a journey of self-exploration that can be both exhilarating and life-changing. A deep desire for fresh experiences stirs within them, prompting journeys to long-cherished destinations, diving into the acquisition of new skills, and interacting with the world in ways previously unimagined. A fresh chapter in their life seems to be emerging, brimming with potential and excitement. Yet, what unfolds when the individual they've entrusted with their life chooses not to accompany them on this path? What if their partner remains anchored in the past, unwilling to evolve or embrace change? The pain that comes with this is profound. A woman may begin to feel as though she is growing into someone she no longer recognizes within the confines of the relationship. It's not a matter of loving her partner any less, rather, it's the painful acknowledgement that she is evolving beyond a marriage that fails to nurture the person she is destined to be. The emotional distance between them starts to expand, gradually at first, but ultimately, it seems insurmountable. She is progressing, while he remains stagnant, trapped in a state of comfort. The frustration, the loneliness, the yearning for a deeper connection, it all builds up. She begins to wonder if she's the only one willing to evolve, to fight for something more, while he seems content with the status quo. The sensation of emotional detachment is stifling, and acknowledging it can be excruciating, yet at times, it is the sole route to self-improvement and true contentment. It's a poignant struggle, witnessing the affection she once had with her partner fade into an emotional abyss that expands beyond reach. Fifth on the list. A diminution of physical and emotional connection. True intimacy transcends mere physical closeness. It revolves around the essence of being genuinely acknowledged, profoundly comprehended, and experiencing a rich emotional bond that goes beyond the superficial. It's that knowing look, the soft touch that says, "I see you, I care about you, I desire you." It's about feeling wanted, cherished, and loved in a way that fuels the soul. Yet, as time passes, it is unfortunate that numerous couples start to diminish that spark, that intense bond that previously made them feel unbreakable. For a woman, when this closeness diminishes, it transcends mere physical absence, it resonates as a profound betrayal of love itself. It can be truly devastating. It's a profound, lingering sensation that settles in when she no longer perceives that glimmer in her partner's eyes, when his caress no longer stirs the same fire within her soul. It's more than merely lacking physical affection. It's about feeling invisible, unimportant, and abandoned in the most intimate ways. As the emotional bond starts to weaken, she gradually withdraws, shielding herself from potential pain with each passing moment. The journey is fraught with difficulty, capable of undermining trust and warmth, causing her to doubt the love that once seemed so steadfast. I truly believe that emotional intimacy is the foundation of any relationship, and when it starts to wither, it's as if the heart of the partnership is slowly suffocating. The quiet that accompanies it resonates more than any spoken phrase, and it's profoundly heart-wrenching to witness love diminish in such a manner. Number 6. Retirement transforms life in profound ways, though it doesn't always lead to positive outcomes. Retirement is frequently depicted as the shining phase of life, the eagerly anticipated period when we can unwind, explore, and finally prioritize our own needs after decades of diligent effort. This time is meant to be filled with joy, a culmination of years of hard work and commitment. Yet for numerous couples, it turns out to be far from the tranquil, carefree period they had envisioned. Instead, it transforms into a conflict, a difficult transition in their connection. Why is that? Retirement often strikes many as a jarring shift, a total transformation of the life they envisioned. This shift can prove particularly challenging for numerous men. It's not merely about stepping away from a career, it's about experiencing a profound loss of self and a diminished sense of purpose. Having dedicated their lives to their professions, they now find themselves unexpectedly navigating a reality where their roles are no longer as essential. They transition from the organized bustle of their jobs to a vast expanse of unstructured moments. In the lack of a clear plan or engaging hobbies, a significant number find themselves seeking companionship from their wives. However, rather than merely looking for companionship, they inadvertently impose a significant weight on their wives. These women, who have been managing the household and raising families for decades, now find themselves tasked with the emotional and social responsibility of filling their husband's time. They are anticipated to embody all roles: caregiver, performer, ally, and unwavering friend. This is where the true weight of retirement hits hard. For numerous women, this unexpected intimacy can seem overwhelming. What was once the hope for a well-deserved break, a time to finally breathe, explore their passions, or perhaps take some time for self-care, now feels like an inescapable cage. There's a stifling absence of freedom, leaving no opportunity to explore what brings them joy beyond the confines of their identity as a partner. After dedicating decades to prioritizing others, the expectation in retirement is for them to continue giving even more. What's the most frustrating aspect? They have no opportunity to engage in their interests, explore their passions, or simply enjoy solitude. They have forfeited the liberty they once sought with such fervor. They may sense a confinement, as though they are navigating a life not of their own making, one that strays far from the intended path. Over time, this emotional strain starts to weigh heavily. What began as love can gradually transform into resentment, as the woman increasingly feels stifled by the relentless expectations imposed upon her. It's heartbreaking, really, how a period meant for rest and renewal can become the very thing that erodes the foundation of a marriage. As resentment quietly seeps in, it chips away at the love and joy they once shared. The love remains, yet it lies hidden under the weight of unspoken needs and expectations that were overlooked and left unaddressed. Ultimately, what was meant to be a shining moment can transform into a poignant reminder that retirement, if not handled thoughtfully, can lead to significant negative changes. This is why having open conversations before entering retirement is crucial. It is essential for both partners to recognize that the dynamics will shift, and they must be ready, in terms of emotions, mindset, and practical matters. Otherwise, retirement can become a time of deep frustration and loneliness for both, leaving a marriage struggling to survive when it should be thriving. 7. She no longer feels heard or appreciated. One of the most heartbreaking, soul-crushing experiences in a marriage isn't the argument or the conflict, it's the feeling of being invisible, the quiet agony that comes from pouring your heart out and being met with silence. Too many women, after years of being the emotional anchor for their families, reach a devastating point where they begin to feel like their voices no longer hold any weight. They invest deeply in their relationships, providing unwavering support, sustaining the family, and giving so much of themselves. However, when they express themselves, it seems their words go unheard. They express their concerns, share their innermost feelings, and try to initiate meaningful conversations, but instead of the connection they crave, they're met with indifference. The ache of that disregard cuts deeper than any cruel remark ever could. In my view, the most painful experience for a wife isn't a disagreement, it's the feeling of being overlooked. It feels as if her thoughts, opinions, and emotions have lost their worth in the eyes of the one person she has entrusted with her heart for so long. She doesn't need extravagant displays of affection or constant praise. What she needs, what every woman needs, is to know that she's still being heard. It is essential for her to sense that, regardless of the time and transformations that have occurred, her viewpoint continues to hold significance. She needs to feel seen in a world that so often overlooks her. But when that simple need isn't met, when communication becomes one-sided, when the effort to truly listen fades away, she begins to pull away emotionally. And let me tell you, once that emotional withdrawal begins, it's so incredibly hard to come back from. The harm inflicted is nuanced, yet profoundly agonizing. If she experiences neglect for an extended period, she will cease her efforts to connect. And when that occurs, love doesn't disappear, it evolves. It gradually transforms into something much more malevolent. Quiet resentment. A wife who has been disregarded for too long will begin to guard her heart, protect herself from further hurt. When the bedrock of affection is supplanted by unspoken bitterness, the bond will inevitably transform beyond recognition. She understands that time is fleeting and yearns for something greater. If you're still engaged with this video and appreciate the lessons, I would love for you to share your thoughts in the comments below to let me know you're still with me. As time passes and people age, their perspective on life shifts dramatically. In an instant, the years seem to shrink, the days meld together, and one starts to grasp the delicate and transient nature of existence. We part ways with friends, witness the passage of time in our loved ones, and with each farewell we face, a fragment of our heart feels the weight of loss, a poignant reminder that nothing is certain. The clock ticks louder, and with every passing second, it becomes clearer that time is precious. Much more valuable than we ever understood in our youth. For many women, this profound shift in perspective ignites a quiet yet powerful transformation. It forces them to look at their lives, their choices, and most importantly, their relationships, through an entirely new lens. She begins to ponder the questions that have long hovered in the recesses of her thoughts, inquiries that were previously too unsettling to face. Am I genuinely content in my marriage? Am I experiencing genuine love, the kind that embraces me for my true self rather than merely for my actions? Am I truly content with dedicating my remaining years in this manner? These delve deeper than mere surface-level questions. They delve into the essence of her identity and the transformation she has undergone. When the responses to these inquiries fail to align with her essence, a transformation occurs, a subtle retreat that stems not from fury, but from an intrinsic urge for self-protection. She can no longer ignore the gnawing feeling that she deserves more than a half-hearted existence. For many women, after decades of giving everything they have to a marriage, there comes a time when they stop trying. It's not because they don't care anymore, but because they've realized that they deserve more than just surviving alongside someone. They deserve love, passion, companionship, and a connection that makes them feel seen and cherished. It's not about grand romantic gestures. It's about the little things, the moments of emotional connection that are so often neglected. Over time, a woman becomes weary of fighting for attention. She grows weary of the constant need to nag, beg, or plead for something that ought to flow effortlessly in a partnership. Attention, respect, love. She no longer has the energy for a battle that doesn't seem to have an end in sight. Instead, she quietly shifts her focus. She focuses on herself. Her welfare. Her growth. Her joy. If her husband isn't able, or willing, to meet her halfway, the emotional gap between them grows. And often, this detachment doesn't happen in a loud, obvious way. It's not a dramatic blow-up. It's the silence that stretches between them. The unspoken emotional void that lingers between them, felt deeply yet seldom acknowledged. At times, she finds herself withdrawing physically, not out of a desire to escape, but as a means of self-preservation. This is why, after decades of marriage, some women stop trying. Not because they no longer care, but because they've come to the heartbreaking realization that they deserve so much more than simply existing in someone else's world. They have poured out their efforts, and now a decision lies before them. Continue to stay and sacrifice their happiness, or step away to find the peace they deserve. As we grow older, we come to understand that connections are not defined by the explosive excitement of our younger days, nor the fervor that once ignited so intensely. No, relationships in the later years are about presence. Embracing the moment together. They're about understanding, showing empathy, and above all, respect. When a woman starts to feel a sense of distance from her husband, it is seldom due to a mere loss of love. Love doesn't disappear in a heartbeat. It's not as simple as turning a switch on or off. It fades slowly, imperceptibly, in the small, unnoticed moments. It diminishes in the quiet moments when she feels invisible, in the years when she bears the emotional burden of the relationship alone, and in the times when she seeks solace, yet encounters only apathy. But does it have to be this way? Must love inevitably dissolve into emptiness? I find it hard to accept that it does. Affection is a decision, a promise that can be reaffirmed. Just as it fades with neglect, it can be reignited with intention, effort, and care. It requires vulnerability and a willingness to put in the work. If you are a husband observing this, take a moment to reflect. When was the last occasion you genuinely paid attention to your wife? Not only did I hear her words, but I truly absorbed the feelings that lay beneath them. When was the last time you appreciated her, not just for what she does, but for who she is as a person? Think deeply, because those small moments of connection can make all the difference. If you find yourself as a wife sensing that emotional gap, consider this: is it possible for us to restore that bond? Is there still space for restoration, for a fresh beginning? Keep in mind, marriage is not about arriving at a conclusive endpoint. It's a matter of selecting one another repeatedly, despite the transformations that time brings. It's about showing up for one another, even when it feels easier to pull away. It's the little, daily acts that convey so much meaning. I continue to see you. Your worth remains significant to me. You still matter to me. So, here's the truth that we need to face. If we want love to endure, it must be nurtured. It's not a given. A cause we must champion. Not in grand gestures, but in the subtle, daily decisions to embrace one another, to recognize each other for our authentic selves. True affection resides there. As we wrap up today's discussion, I want you to reflect on everything we've shared. Relationships, love, and life. All of them demand focus, engagement, and above all, a profound comprehension of one another. We have delved into the ways in which time transforms all aspects of life. How it shapes the way we see our relationships and ourselves. However, this is the crucial point. We don't have to let love fade away. We can choose to nurture it, to rekindle it, and to continue growing together, no matter the years. What insights have you gained today? What is one lesson from this video that you will begin to implement in your own life? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please share one insight you've gained and how you plan to implement it moving forward. Join me in a thoughtful discussion in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave your comment, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring content. Your encouragement is invaluable to us, and we eagerly anticipate your presence in the upcoming video.